Hello, everyone, and we're back, and we're continuing with the winter meetings talks. Now, Brian, you had a few comments that you wanted to make on the topic.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, this offseason's not done yet.
Yes.
But as it looks right now, the Red Sox are definitely the team to beat in MLB. But I think that could change. I'm just pretty much throwing in that Lee's probably going to the Yankees. There is a chance he doesn't, but I'm just assuming that he does because how can you turn that offer down? Plus, CC and his wife are talking to Lee and his family about moving up. And
Really? I didn't hear that.
yeah, supposedly CC's wife has like a house picked out for them on the same street. And the kids are the same age, and they think it's going to work out.
Well, they must be friends from their Indians.
Yeah, they're really good friends. They talk all the time. So that's definitely helping the Yankees. But I think what this is going to come down to is if either one of these teams gets Russell Martin, because they both really need a catcher. I think the Red Sox need him more than the Yankees do. But, because they do have Cervelli and Montero. Whereas the Red Sox really only have Saltalamacchia, who's at best mediocre.
Yeah.
Russell Martin's a very solid addition to the lineup. And also, I think if the Yankees can get one more pitcher, whether it's bringing back Andy Pettitte, pulling off a huge trade for Zach Greinke, which it's a long shot, but there's people talking about it.
So even with Lee, you're still pulling off the Zach Greinke trade?
I would still say so. But the one player that the Yankees are really looking into right now is Francisco Liriano.
Yes, they are.
And if they could get him, I think they'd have the best pitching I've ever seen, either with him or Greinke.
All right.
Unless he falls apart again.
Yeah, a couple of things. The Russell Martin thing, I like what you said. I don't think that's the difference of being the top one or two teams. Russell Martin's a great hitter. He's only 27, and he had a couple down years, and he was injured too.
But 2 years ago, he batted
2 years ago, he's an all-star. I think this is a great pickup for either one of them. I don't think he's like a Carl Crawford, Adrian Gonzalez.
No, but he's definitely a difference maker.
Yeah, he is a difference maker.
I mean, you look at the Red Sox, and you have Saltalamacchia batting ninth. You had Russell Martin there, and he's probably ahead
That's a good addition. But there's another thing. Toronto's also in the mix.
Yeah.
They lost Buck, and also there's another mystery team that isn't discovered yet. So we'll
probably
see what
the
happens.
Nationals or the Orioles.
The Greinke thing, I think we'll talk about later too. But the Greinke thing is only as long as what I've heard is only if they don't get Lee. I don't know if you've heard differently.
I've heard that it's assumed that, but if you think about it, you have Lee, CC, and Greinke.
Okay.
Why would you not try to do that if you can?
So you're gonna trade Montero then for Greinke?
I would.
Well, yeah, but all right.
I mean, why not rely on Cervelli? He did great last year.
All right, Greinke was out of the league for a couple years for anxiety disorder. How is he going to fare in New York with the anxiety disorder?
Don't make him number one or number two.
That's not going to do anything.
But if he's the number 3 pitcher, there's a lot less stress put on him.
Right.
He's the only player in Kansas City that people give a damn about.
Yeah.
And you put him as number 3 pitcher, all of a sudden he's kind of lost in there a little bit.
When I saw Liriano, that could be a very interesting.
And it would take a lot less to get Liriano. Too.
Yes. I don't know if the Twins would want to trade Liriano though. He had a very good bounce back year last year.
They're listening to a lot of talks.
They are.
So.
But Liriano and Greinke, as far as I've seen, is if they only get Lee. So if they get Liriano and Greinke, that would be bad for the Yankees.
But I also said,
they're not gonna get Lee.
but that's also thinking that Pettitte might come back. If he doesn't come back, they only have 4 pitchers.
That's a lot of lefties. Even talking about that. Sabathia, Lee, Liriano, Pettitte. Greinke's only ready there.
But if they get Pettitte back, then they're not going to have Liriano because they want Phil Hughes in there. And I think Phil Hughes is going to have a great season this year, too.
I think what you're going to see, this is my prediction for the Yankee rotation. It's going to go Sabathia, Lee, Hughes.
Sabathia over Lee?
Sabathia over Lee. Sabathia, Lee, Hughes, Pettitte. And either maybe Jabba comes back or they sign a very... Burnett, maybe. But that he could also be dangled as a trade. Maybe they grab Pavano back.
There were some talks about that, too.
Yeah.
I don't want him.
I would love to see them get Pavano back. Because I think the Red Sox are going to tee off Pavano. That was not a good experiment. That's more like a Javier Vasquez thing coming back.
I liked Vasquez better than Pavano.
Yeah.
So...
I think if the Yankees don't pull off the Cliff Lee deal, Greinke coming to the Yankees would be just great for Greinke. I mean, how long did it take him to get a win this season?
True.
It was like 0 and 7 or 8 or something like
But
that.
how is he gonna get wins with anxiety disorder in New York?
But
the guy was out of the league. He pitched for Kansas City and had anxiety disorder.
True.
yeah, but you don't know that's
True.
all just about baseball. There could have been underlying.
No, it
issues.
was, but that's not gonna help.
No, but I don't know.
Game 7 ALCS, Boston Red Sox,
Against-
Yankees.
With Ellsbury and Crawford on the bases, the
It
city's
wouldn't
gonna
be-
be.
it-
Yeah,
wouldn't be any
I
better.
can't do it.
It wouldn't be any better if he went to LA.
No.
And they're one of the teams that are talking about getting him. So
I still think Lee's gonna be with the Yankees, so
I do too.
don't worry about Greinke or Liriano.
Greinke will pull a Derek Anderson. I'm out of here.
Well, I think we're gonna be talking about Greinke a little bit later, anyways. So.
All right, moving on. The Nationals make a very questionable move, adding Jason Werth, 7 years, $126 million. Is Jason worth it?
No,
Get
not
it?
at all.
No.
I mean, I bashed the Adam Dunn deal, but that looks like a genius move compared to this one.
Yeah.
Why would you give Jason Werth this much money?
These last couple of years, they
I don't know,
got.
he just emerged, really.
These last couple of years, they drafted Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper. They need to develop from within, save their money. Why would you get a Jason Werth? You already have Zimmerman. You're gonna have Bryce Harper in that middle of the order. You don't need to spend $120 million on a Jason Werth.
And all of a
I think
sudden-
he's gonna be a bust.
And all of a sudden they want Cliff Lee, and they want this guy, and they want that guy. Like,
I mean,
that's going against what they've been trying to do.
that ownership's. I gotta give them some credit. They're spending some money, and that.
But why didn't they do this before? I mean, they were the worst team in baseball. Then all
The
of a sudden,
Expos to nothing. But
yeah, but the Expos drafted a lot of great players.
if I was the Nationals organization, I'd wait until Harper and Strasburg develop some more prospects, and then start spending the money to make yourself a contender. This Jason Werth thing, too bad they were locked in for 7 years. That's a terrible move by the Nationals. Jason Werth's a pretty good player, and I like him staying in the NL. He's definitely an NL type player. We'll see.
I mean,
This says Barry Zito all over it.
yeah, it does. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not worth that much money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you.
The headline speaks for itself.
Yeah,
Worth it? No.
no, not at all. They should probably rethink their whole system right
Yeah.
now. I mean, they could have gone out and got like 6 free agents for the money they gave him.
No, they could have just gotten better prospects. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean,
That's the kind of money that Cliff Lee wants. So why not just give it to Cliff Lee?
Why not give it to Carl Crawford? The guy's
Carl
younger.
Crawford, yeah.
Carl Crawford was rumored to go to the Nationals. Maybe Carl Crawford didn't want to go to the Nationals, but
But why would you give it to Werth? I don't get it. I really
Jason
don't.
Werth only signed the deal because of the money. He's not going there for the wins. Now he's going to be the headline guy over there in the Nationals. It's good for Werth, obviously. It's just not good for the
I
Nationals.
really don't even want to talk about this anymore because it's just
Yeah.
sickening.
All right.
Way too long.
All right,
It's sickening.
we have a question from Rick from Chicago. He asked us, is there any chance, it's basically what we were touching upon, is there any chance Lee doesn't sign with the Yankees, and also where would Greinke go?
There is a chance, but I mean, I don't really think he's going to give Texas a hometown discount because
Yeah.
he was only with them for a few months.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's not really. I mean, I know he's there now, but he's not really set up there.
Well, I think Cliff Lee's from Arkansas, so that's not really a hometown discount.
But I mean, he was with the team, so he's going to give them one last year to stay with them. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's 60-40 that Cliff Lee's going to the Yankees. I think the Rangers have definitely narrowed the gap significantly, sending their whole brass over there to talk to him. That was a great move. Rangers need to step up. John Daniels needs to step up. The Texas Rangers GM. Pay this guy. I know he's already 32, and 7 years is ridiculously long. But the fans loved him over there. The Rangers have the money to spend now. Go out there and keep Cliff Lee. This guy got you almost a win in World Series. Keep Cliff Lee. As far as Zach Greinke goes, I think he could go to the Yankees. I don't like that move. I also hear him being mentioned to go with the Phillies, teaming up with Roy Halladay in the NL. That'd be perfect.
I haven't heard that one yet.
I just heard.
I heard that it's gonna. What I've heard
Yeah.
is that the Blue Jays were interested.
Yes,
but
they were.
I don't really see that.
I think that's
happening.
dumb after already getting prospects for Roy Halladay.
Yeah, so the teams that really seem to be in it, to me, would be LA, which I don't really see him fitting in.
LA would be perfect for them.
But if you think about it, they already have 6 starters as it is.
Yeah, but
so
I don't see Jared Weaver as the ace. I think they do need an ace.
They need an ace, but
Why not the Angels? The Angels are a joke. They lost him to Teixeira. Their whole priority is getting Crawford. They lose out on Crawford. And I think my favorite, I want to talk about the Angels for a second. My favorite update, my favorite headline after the Red Sox got Crawford, right before they signed Crawford, Torrey Hunter said, I'm hopeful that my Angels can get Carl Crawford. Update. Red Sox get Carl Crawford. Yankees lose out. Also, I also love this headline. Red Sox get Carl Crawford. Yankees extend their offer to Cliff Lee to 7 years. That was great too.
Going back to Greinke, I think it's pretty much going to be whoever doesn't get Cliff Lee out of the Yankees and Rangers is going to get Greinke. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think they're going to be in the running for it.
Honestly, I think Kansas City's kind of hoping the Yankees get Cliff Lee because I think the Rangers have more to give up, more prospects.
True. They have a stacked farm.
Because I mean, if you look at it, after Montero, who do they really have?
Yeah.
You know.
Lee's really manipulating this whole winter meetings. Everything's going out after him. As soon as Lee goes, I think you're going to see a lot more suitors for Greinke. So it's going to be different.
Do you think if the Red Sox thought the Yankees weren't going to get Lee, that they would have gotten Crawford and Egon?
Wait, what?
If the Red Sox thought the Yankees weren't going to get Lee,
yeah,
do you think they would have still gotten Crawford and Egon?
Yeah, they needed it.
I think they would have got one of them. I don't think they would have got.
No, they did this for the ratings. The ratings were down. They needed the ratings to go up. That was perfect. I see Greinke. I would love to see Greinke in a Phillies uniform, really, teaming up with Roy Halladay. But I also like what you say, and whoever's going to lose out in the league is going to be top priority to get Greinke.
All right, now before we go on with any more MLB, I just saw the question, one of the viewer questions, and it fits in. We have a question from Mark from Oregon. We have fans in Oregon? Wow.
Didn't realize that.
I didn't.
Just the question is this: just wondering, Beatoms.
For me?
Would you
Yes,
be
for you.
Would you be pissed if the Yankees did not get Cliff Lee?
I would be pissed, but if they got Greinke, it would make up for it a little bit. I mean, at this point, it's really up to Lee. Yeah. I can't really say the Yankees should have done more to get him, because they're not going to give him an 8-year deal. They're really not going to give him that much more money. I mean, they offered him a great contract.
They offered him a great contract, yes.
So if he doesn't take it, it's only really because he wants to go back to the Rangers.
Yeah.
But if they don't get Greinke, then I'm probably just not even going to bother with baseball.
What about Cole Pavano?
What?
Cole Pavano?
Oh, yeah. I'd definitely want Pavano as my number 2 pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would be pissed if I were you too.
All right, moving on. We got about 2.5 minutes left. I mean, it's taking a long time. Paul Konerko re-signs 3 years, $37.5 million with the White Sox. Is this a good move, guys?
Great move. Adam Dunn wanted him to come back, and the White Sox did it. Ken Williams is a great GM. He's one of my favorite GMs in baseball. The White Sox GM. He makes tons of moves, risky moves like Manny Ramirez, like Alex Rios, but at least he's active in making moves.
He's not afraid to try something.
Konerko is the heart and soul of the Chicago White Sox. The fans love Konerko. Paulie, they call him. They really wanted Konerko back. I think Dunn was a perfect move. They needed another power hitter.
You know, Konerko's a little older, but at the same time, it's only a 3-year deal.
Konerko hit .311 with 39 home runs and above 100 RBIs last year. I don't care how old he is, he's still got a lot left in the tank. Having Quinton, Dunn, and Konerko 1, 2, 3 in that middle of the lineup, that's perfect, and that's great power.
They're definitely favorites for the Central, I would say.
I would say Twins, as long as they don't lose Liriano.
I don't think the Twins are going to keep Liriano.
Tigers, no?
I'm liking the White Sox.
All right, very quick. The Orioles get Mark Reynolds in a trade with the Diamondbacks. Good move.
The Orioles have been huge this offseason.
J.J. Hardy?
Yeah, J.J. Hardy and Reynolds, and then on top of that, they're trying to get some other players as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think they threw out an offer for Lee, but it was a horrible offer. But at least they're trying to keep up. You know, the Orioles have been a nothing team.
Yeah.
I mean, after Ripken left, there was nothing to look for on the Orioles. You know, you had Miguel Tejada, but that was nothing really.
Yeah, no, the Orioles ownership has tons of money. They're finally making moves. You know, Mark Reynolds, he's gonna hit under the Mendoza line. Really, he's a 200 average hitter at best, maybe 220 at best, but he can hit you 40 home runs. And that lineup needs some. Those fans have nothing to come in. They have a great ballpark. Camden Yards is a beautiful ballpark. They really want fans to come in there. Mark Reynolds is going to be an exciting player to watch. He can pop a few home runs against that Red Sox and Yankee rotation.
I love Camden. I went there once.
I like Camden Yards too.
I went there once, and it's probably the nicest ballpark I've
ever seen. It is.
Seen.
I've heard that too. I've never been to Camden Yards, but I really want to go there. But as far as the Orioles, yeah, Mark Reynolds, that's a great move, and it's a little bit risky, but Buck Showalter, the new coach, the new manager, hopefully he helps out, and I think Orioles they're not going to have a chance, but they might be better than last year.
All right. Well, we're still not through with MLB. I mean, by the time this
It's
is
the
over,
winter meeting special.
by the time this is over, it's going to be the Lord of the Rings trilogy running time. So, we'll see you when we get back.